time, folks. No time.
Our story starts here at the Terra Firma Detective Agency. The detective and his assistant, Eartha the Earthworm, will dig below the surface to unearth some facts about soil.
Of course. I assure you we're on the case. Hi, Eartha.
Hi, boss.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not eating your food. It's a treat for humans called soil. It's made of pudding and cookie crumbs. Anyway, that was Sandy Hill from up the street. It's Mrs. Hill's birthday next week, and Sandy and her brother Rocky want to surprise their mom by planting a garden for her.
That sounds neat.
They want to plant a garden in the best soil possible, and they are relying on us to get the facts.
Great. So, where do we start?
Let's start with the facts we already know. We know soil is the loose material that covers the earth. Soil is made of tiny bits of rock and small pieces of dead plants and animals. Some people call soil dirt.
Don't forget that soil has water and air in it too. I absorb air from the soil every day, so I know that there's air in the soil. And the water, well, there was too much water in the soil last week during those heavy rains. I had to get out of that mud. That's why you saw me on the sidewalk. Oh, and thanks again for watching your step when you walked by.
No problem. Let's go into the slime lab and see what other facts we can dig up on soil.
In the lab, the detective and Eartha discover that soil covers most of the Earth's land area, with water covering the rest. They find that soil is made up from tiny pieces of crushed rock. Water and plants can cause big rocks to break down into smaller pieces of rock. The breaking down of rocks by water or through contact with plants is called weathering. The pounding waves crash against the seaside rocks. The water will slowly wear down the rock into smaller pieces. Sometimes, water gets into the tiny cracks of rocks. If that water freezes, the ice may break the rock apart. Plants that grow on rocks can cause the rocks to break. As the plants grow, their roots may grow into the cracks of rocks. The roots may split the rock apart. Some plants produce chemicals that can cause rocks to crumble. When rocks break down into even smaller pieces, or if they move from one place to another by water or wind, it's called erosion. Erosion from water may happen when floodwater breaks up pieces of rock and carries the rock to new areas. Erosion can change the way a rock is shaped, or even the shape of the land. Sometimes the shape of the ground is changed when people dig into the soil looking for minerals like gold or coal. They may blast the earth with explosives or use giant dirt-moving equipment. This desert land has been changed over a very long period of time by the wind. Water and wind can carry tiny parts of rock, like sand, to new places, far away. Wind or water may carry the soil away, but people may not want that to happen. To help stop the erosion from taking place, people may plant trees to block the wind, or put plants in to hold the soil in place. The plant roots will hold onto the soil, so the soil won't erode away. That's called soil conservation.
Okay, now that we know what soil is and where it comes from, what do we do next?
We need more clues. We need more information. We should split up on this and go investigate soil properties and types.
Soil properties?
The way soil looks or feels.
Oh, okay. And types?
Well, you know, the kind of soil it is. There's sandy soil, clay soil, and loam. If you go look into loam, I will go investigate sand and clay. Where'd I leave my magnifying glass? I'll meet you back at the office later.
Oh, okay, bye.
Soil properties. The way soil looks or feels. Sand. How does sand look or feel? I know. I like the way sand feels between my toes. I'll start at the beach. What is sand? Sand is made of tiny bits of rock, mostly quartz. Large rocks of granite become smaller rocks like quartz and then are worn down even further to become tiny bits of rock called sand.
What are you looking at?
Oh, hello. I'm looking at granite. Well, it used to be granite rock. Now it's sand. Look.
They look like tiny rocks. They're all different colors. The same colors as granite rocks.
That's because it used to be granite before many years of weather.
Are you a detective?
Why, yes, I am. I'm on an assignment. I have to find out about the properties of soil. You know, the way soil looks or feels. I found that sand is very coarse or gritty. The jagged edges of the sand help the sand reflect light and sparkle. The rough edges seem to keep the sand from sticking together when dry. But when they're wet, they're forced together. Oops, not for very long. The sand doesn't hold water very well. The water goes right through the sand. Sandy soil probably wouldn't be the best for a garden. The plant roots wouldn't be able to grip the slippery sand. And not many plants seem to grow in sand.
No, you wouldn't want to plant a garden in sand.
Meanwhile, Bertha is digging up more facts about soil.
Loam soil. What is loam made of? Why, loam looks like a mixture of soils. It's made from a little bit of sand, some pebbles, tiny parts of dead plants and animals, and a very small bit of clay. It's a dark brown in color. It smells great. Loam feels light and crumbly, and it's slightly moist. All this investigating soil is making me a very hungry earthworm. Lunch break. I wonder how Detective Firma is doing.
The detective is on his way to new discoveries about dirt when he notices.
What's this place? Is anyone here?
May I help you?
What is this place?
This is the Museum of Humus. Let's go in. Humus is made from things that were once alive but are now decaying.
You mean humus is made up of dead plants and animals?
Yes, and as you can see, humus has a very dark color and a light, moist texture. Beautiful. Doesn't humus smell good?
Yes, well, I suppose so. Tell me, is it good material to plant a garden in?
Well, you would definitely want to add some humus to your soil. It's a very rich food for plants. But you wouldn't want to use it alone. Humus should be mixed with other soil types to make it more useful. You should also look at sand and clay.
I have examined sand and I will investigate clay. Do you know where I can find some?
Sure. Try the pottery school down the block.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Now that my tummy is full, I can get back to work. Let's see. Hey, I can see some of the different layers of earth. There's the bedrock. That's the hard rocky layer. There's what's called subsoil. Subsoil is made of sand and pebbles and clay. The clay in the soil seems to make the dirt more red or tan colored. The subsoil has a lot of tiny rocks in it. I don't think there's room for plant roots to grow with all that rock and clay packed in there. I wonder if Detective Terra Firma has found out about clay.
I bet I'll find clay in this pottery class.
So you see, Detective, clay is made from very small bits of rock, smaller than sand, and clay holds water very well. Clay also comes in lots of different colors. So you see, Detective, this pottery was made from clay that was dug up from the ground, shaped, painted, and then became hard when it was baked in a very hot oven called a kiln.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the information. Sandy and Rocky will be glad to know that I have unearthed information about clay. Clay would not be a good soil to grow plants in.
No.
It's too slippery for plant roots to grab onto. And clay has very little airspace in it, although it makes very nice pottery.
Thanks.
Thanks again for the information. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Eartha is having a great time discovering the top layer of Earth.
This is called topsoil. Topsoil is, well, the top layer of soil. The very top layer of Earth has leaves and twigs and seeds, old fruits and flowers, and decaying bits of dead animals and insects. Plants can grow well in topsoil. The plant roots can easily grasp the topsoil and take in their water and food. Oh my, it's getting late. I better get back to the office.
I better get home.
Hey, did you say loam?
No, I said home. But I know why you heard me wrong. It's because your ears are dirty. No, get it? Ears of corn. What is loam anyway?
Loam is a mixture of sand and clay soils along with humus. It's what plants love to grow in.
I just learned about clay, sand, and humus. Clay and sandy soils didn't seem to be the best soils to use for a garden. Is loam a good soil to use for a garden?
Absolutely, the very best. You know, loam is lightweight, it's easy to work with, and it smells good too. You know, it's dark in color, and it allows air, food, and water to pass through to the plant's roots easily. Plants love it. You know, most fruits and vegetables that people eat are grown in soil, and loam is an excellent soil to use for most crops.
Wow, thanks. Thank you so much. You're really amazing. Maize is the Native American word for corn. And then I said, you're amazing. Thank you. It was a corny joke. Corny joke.
The detective and Eartha meet back at the office to share their discoveries.
Hi, Boss.
Hi, Eartha. Did you gather the information?
Yeah. Did you?
Yes. Let's compare notes.
Okay.
I found out about sand. Sand is made up of tiny bits of rock. Sand doesn't hold water very well. Most plants can't grow in sand. Oh, and I passed by this strange place and learned about something called humus. Humus is made up of decayed plants and animals. Humus is light in texture and dark colored. Well, the more humus the soil has, the darker the soil is.
Uh-huh. I found out about humus too when I investigated loam soil. It turns out that loam is a mixture of soils made from sand, humus, and clay. Oh, were you able to look into clay?
Oh, yeah. I played with clay. I investigated the facts on clay. There are many colors of clay, like red, tan, or gray. Clay holds water very well, but it's too smooth and slippery for most plant roots. Clay's heavy, and there isn't enough airspace for plant roots to grow.
Wow, great work, Detective.
Thanks. But before we call Rocky and Sandy with what we think the solution is, let's go visit Nicole. She can test our findings for us.
Hi, Nicole. Wow, look at all those mud pies. There's a lot of different colors of soil. I see black and brown, yellow and red too. Just a whole bunch of colors.
Can we do some experiments with your mud pies, Nicole?
Thanks.
That mud pie made with the sandy soil doesn't seem to hold water well. There's a lot of sand in that soil, and the water is running right through it. It makes a terrible mud pie, and it wouldn't be the best soil for a garden either.
This clay mud pie is slippery and heavy. It holds water too well. Clay wouldn't be a good garden soil either. The plant roots would get soggy, and they wouldn't get enough air. Oh, look at this loam mud pie. It's beautiful. Loam is a mixture of sand and clay together with humus. It has the best of everything. It has just the right amount of water and air to grow healthy plants. I detect we've almost got our answer. Thanks, Nicole.
Now that we know what soil is, where soil comes from, and what soil looks like, we can move on to step 2.
And that is?
We should investigate uses for soil in our community.
That's a good idea. We can explore the different ways we use soil. Those facts, added to what we already know, will give us plenty of information.
I'm going to call my friend who studies bugs and worms. Well, as you know, your bug friends help the soil stay healthy. That's important for Sandy and Rocky to know. My friend knows a lot about soil and which bugs and worms will help the soil. I'll see you back at the office. Hi, Dr. Dog. Whoa. I'm this close to solving a case, but I could really use your help. I need to know about the bugs and worms that use soil.
Look at all the bugs and worms. I see that there are a lot of earthworms in there. They are wonderful for the soil. Earthworms live in hollow tunnels inside the ground. The tunnels bring more air into the soil. The earthworm's digging mixes up the soil and keeps the dirt loose. Earthworms eat old leaves, animal debris, dead insects, rotten plant material, and soil. As they eat, they leave a waste product behind called castings. The castings become food for the soil.
Wow, that's really interesting. So many insects, bugs, and worms use soil for their home and even for their food. Earthworms enrich the soil with their nutritious castings, and their tunneling brings in air. Thank you so much. You've been a great help. Take care.
Eartha has just read that some people lived in homes that were built partly into the ground.
Some people used mud and straw together to form a brick-like material called adobe. Adobe bricks can be made from sand and clay and straw and water. So some people use soil to build their homes.
It looks like many animals make their homes in the ground. They dig out soil to make burrows or dens. Some animals that make their homes in soil are rabbits, marmots, and ground squirrels. Looks like some birds even use muddy soil for their nests.
Hiya, boss.
Hi, Eartha.
Look at this house I made from soil. I sure learned a lot today about different types of soil.
That's great, Eartha. I think Sandy and Rocky Hill's problem is solved. We found that there are many uses of soil for animals, bugs, birds, and people. We found that the best soil for Sandy and Rocky Hill to use in their garden is loam, with just the right mixture of sand, clay, and humus.
Right. Loam's lightweight and holds the right amount of water and air.
Soil is home to your family, the earthworms. The worms help the soil stay healthy. Most of our grains, fruits, and vegetables come from plants that grew in soil. Digging up facts about soil was great. Let's go tell the kids. And on the way, we can pick up some plant seeds for them.
I'm with you, boss.
And so the case is solved.